Welcome back to the channel. I went to the charity shop and I actually found a camera light rig to hold my new Samsung S26. So I'm going to be filming with that. I found from the last video that the quality was really good and it was quite easy to use. So now I've actually got something to hold it with. And this the special light camera light, I think they're called can't remember what they're called now, but it's got special different lighting on it, so I'll show you what the lighting looks like. It's got different color for different moods apparently, so different hues, colors for different moods, lighting moods. So I hope that it's in focus. So cold, warm, or blue. So I quite like the yellow orange hue, warm hue. So I'll film with that, and I'll switch between the different ones. So I've got some new release Matchbox and some Hot Wheels that I mainlines that I wanted to get, and a couple of premiums as well. So I went round about 6 different shops on Thursday and pretty much gave up. Haven't found any new mainlines for Hot Wheels in about 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Absolutely nothing. Some shops have got 0. Found out a bit about the distribution and who the main distributor is for Hot Wheels and for Mattel for the supermarkets, which was quite interesting. Won't divulge my sources, but I've sort of Googled and looked into it, and it's quite interesting because they're saying they haven't got any New Zealand stock at the moment for some reason, and they're the main supplier that supplies the supermarkets. But another little birdie told me that coming up in a while there's a promotion, big order coming in, and they'll be bringing in some dump bins as well for majority of supermarkets. But I've marked it down on my calendar, so hopefully I will be able to visit going into that and not miss out, because after waiting so long you don't really want to miss out. But managed to, the last shop I went to, I struck gold, and they obviously have a different supplier, distributor for Hot Wheels, so I managed to find some, and they were ones that I needed as well, so I'll go through those. I'll show you, because in my storeroom I had this box full. So there's some of the ones I found, but some of the other ones I've currently put into storage. So I got those ones out. So I will go through some of these. So this one was one in particular that I didn't have. This is the Cadillac. So it's 2016 Cadillac ATS VR. So from copyright 2017. So I didn't actually have this casting at all in my collection, so that's one of the ones I got from the shop in that case. Now I got some of these new release Matchbox power grabs as well. So it's one of the recent cases. So this is a Subaru Outback Wilderness. It's a new casting for Matchbox, copyright 2026, and it's a 2023. And I think if my niece and nephew watch this video, is this the one that my sister drives, your mum? I think it is. She showed me it a few months back, and I think it's this Outback wagon, the new one by Subaru. So pretty cool. And then I found the GTR new casting. So the Nissan GTR Nismo R35 Nismo new casting. Now this one was for the Matchbox the movie. I think I heard another channel say that this was previous released new casting in another case, but I never saw it. So I was very surprised. I actually found the power grabs untouched. Went through the whole lot, didn't find a super chase, no super chase, but there were two Nismos in this one, in that case. I found another case as well, which had two Nismos down the bottom as well, so no super chase, unfortunately, out of two fresh cases of power grabs. But and then this one, I didn't have this one. This is the second color, I believe, for the Maserati MC12, and this is a new casting. So they retooled this casting, I believe, recently, re-released it. I think it was last year in 2025, or was it this year? I'm not sure, but I think it was in the original colors of the white and the blue. So yeah, this was based off the Ferrari Enzo chassis, this one. So that's very cool. I like the blue. And then, so with the movie, this one as well. Now this is a new casting as well, but I think it was previous released in the main lines. So it's it's the Ford Mustang, 1968 Ford Mustang Fastback. So this is copyright of 2025, so it may have been released in this color scheme last year, or maybe at the beginning of this year, but I didn't have it. So very cool, that one. So I try and get all the new castings that I can get, and then obviously any special release ones, like any treasure hunts and stuff. Right, so out of the Hot Wheels, the one I needed to get for the Formula One collection was this one, which is the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls Formula One team. So I think I have this one in premium, but I don't have this one, so now I do. So very cool. And so yeah, it's lucky because when I went into the shop, I went up and I said, "Oh, by the way, I've to the guy, they had like a security guy on, and I said, oh, by the way, I went to the shop further up and I bought this. So I bought this premium set, two-car premium set. So I was looking for this one and I was like, oh, great. Really wanted this one for quite a number of weeks. Hadn't seen it anywhere. So it's good. I went to the shop that I normally get a lot of the premiums from, premium sets and stuff. So they had this on the shelf waiting for me, which was great. And then I went to the other shop and I said to him, oh, look, mate, to the security, I bought this in the other shop just to let you know. See, I've got the receipt from the other shop. And he's like, oh, okay, that's fine. I said, I just didn't want to get accused of stealing on my way out or anything. So he had a bit of a laugh. And because they've had a lot of problems, you know, around in my area with people stealing and shoplifting and walking out with trolley loads of goods and, you know, just basically stealing stuff. So you don't want to get, you know, stereotyped, or maybe they look at you and they think, oh, they, you know, you don't want to get accused of that stuff anyway. So I always make sure that they know that what I'm doing, and if I have something that they see me, that I'm actually bringing in something into the shop, makes you nervous. So, but he was fine. Anyway, so I went up and I had a look, and I looked in the dump bin. They've got a dump bin by the checkout, and they said, oh, we just filled that up. I was like, oh, brilliant, great. So I had a look and I was like, oh, excellent. And then the lady said, oh, I've got a case here. Do you want to have a look in the case? So I was like, oh, yes, please. So had a look in the case. and pulled the treasure hunt, and the one that I didn't have. I'll show that in a minute. And then found a whole bunch of the Ferraris that I needed, plus other castings. So was lucked out with that, which was lucky because I was just about to give up because it would have been 7 weeks of not finding any main lines that I needed, and a lot of traveling for no reason. So she was very helpful, which was great, and I got the ones I needed. So it turned out to be good. So I open these ones up. So yeah, I had an Anglia back in the day, but it wasn't a race car, it was a road car, and it was in white with a red interior, Anglia Deluxe. So this one's a race car. So I've got the first release in blue and white. This is the second release in green and yellow, so it's pretty good. So very cool car, Ford Anglia. They were very popular cars back in the day in New Zealand and also in the UK. So yeah, I definitely wanted that one. And then the Ford Galaxy. I love old Fords, so definitely needed to get the Ford Galaxy. I love the teardrop style air, like, so it's not an intake, but it draws the air out, the hot air out, expels hot air and pressure out of the engine bay bonnet out through the back. Works very well. It's got air intakes in the front. Ford Racing drag team. Great casting. Custom 64 Galaxy. 2007 Mattel copyright. So I'm not sure. I might have this casting in mainline. I think it's basic, but obviously it's quite an old casting. So it'd be, if I've got it, I'll probably have it tucked away somewhere. But I don't have it in premium, so it's good to have that now. Okay, so I'll show you what I've got in here. Right, so I pull the box over. So some of these I actually had on my wall, but I took them down when I rearranged the room and I put the shelves, moved the shelves around and stuff. So this was the premium Formula One Alpine BWT Alpine Formula One team in premium. This is the one I didn't have from the set. So I usually open this one up. So we'll open that one. And then unfortunately in the case, I found 2 of these and I didn't find the treasure hunt. The super treasure hunt of the 64 Impala. But no super treasure hunts in that case, unfortunately. But there are 2 of those, so I needed that, so I grabbed that one. Then I grabbed the Feline Lucky in gold, which was cool. I gave my niece one of these and she absolutely loved it. So I got the original one there on card. So that's the first release of Feline Lucky. Then I got I actually didn't realize I actually had already got this one previously, but that's a new casting for 2026. So I think I'll open that one. Then I got the treasure hunt. I got the first release of Hot Wings. That was released, I think, beginning of this year. So I got the treasure hunt with a mint card. So I needed that one. So that was good. We won't open these ones, I don't think. Keep them in the box. We might figure out something to do with these ones so I can display those ones as well on the wall. And I got doubles of the Ferraris. So these Ferraris I didn't have in this Tempo design. So I've got plenty of these ones with a different colorway. So the yellow and the red first release, and then I've got vintage ones of the previous release, Japanese card release ones and other ones as well. 5-pack release of these, but this is the new casting from last year, end of last year. So the Ferrari 365 GTB4 Competizione. So I've got 2 of those. So I'll open the mintest one out of the bunch, and then I got the black Ferrari F40 Competizione. So I got 2 of the black Ferraris. So I got 1 to open and 1 to keep mint on card. Generally, that's what I've been doing with all the Ferraris. Opening 1, keeping 1 on card. And then I've got the LB Works Lamborghini Huracan Coupe. Now, I've got this one previous, but it was in the Mad Mike Widette livery because it was replicating, like, emulating his drift one he did for the was it for Red Bull and for oh, it's funny how your mind goes blank and you can't think, because I've even been there years ago when I was a kid in England when they raced up the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Because when I was a kid, I went to Goodwood with my parents to the Festival of Speed. And funny fact is that Mike ran a sign writing business in my local area, and I did sign writing for another guy locally for about a year, I think it was. And so I met him anyway, but I met him at the track years ago when I was doing a training day. It wasn't a training day, it was an open day, track day, open day, test day. And my dad was actually, I wasn't driving, but my dad had his car out and he was testing it, his Triumph sprint race car. And Mike was out there testing his Mad Bull, his very first drift car he had, which was a the 7 original one. Yeah, and I remember because he hit the wall at the top of Pookie, coming over the brow of the hill, and clipped the wall. He came over the brow of the hill completely sideways and clipped the barrier. I remember that because the only person that used to drift the top coming over the hill at Pookie was Bruce Mannon. This he's actually Chinese, New Zealand Chinese bloke, and he raced a Ford Escort Mark II like my one, but he had a Cosworth YB in it that was 300 and something horsepower, naturally aspirated. I think it was something crazy like 330 horsepower, naturally aspirated, and he was the only bloke that used to go completely sideways over the top of the brow of the hill at Pookie. And I've actually got it on camera in some of my old footage, because he used to race his Escort with in the series, the classic series that my dad used to race in and stuff, which was quite cool back in the day. But we're probably going back over 20 years now, I'd say, because that was before because that was before a lot of stuff had actually happened. It was going back that long ago. But of course, all that bunch, they've all retired several years ago from motorsport due to age and stuff. But I do have the very first New Zealand drift round ever on camera. Well, it was filmed. Somebody, a camera, like a TV company, I believe, filmed it probably. But I took my handy cam, my old Sony, which was state of the art back then, but it's obviously probably quite bad footage nowadays in comparison to what footage is like nowadays, but on a phone. But it was a state of the art, really good handy cam back in the day. But I filmed the very first, what they called it, D1NZ round, opening round at Pookie, which was pretty cool. So I have the footage of that, so maybe one day I might master it and release it onto YouTube. Maybe that'd be cool. But it's quite funny because the cars have changed a lot over those years. Yeah, so I think that's it in there. These are just older castings that I already had, obviously, and I think some of those are duplicates anyway in there. So yes, let's open these ones then. So yeah, I've still been collecting quite a lot of vintage castings as well. So I have some other vintage castings that have arrived as well. But I kind of spent my budget this week. I probably went over budget this week on purchasing some. But when they come in, you have to get them. You can't really, otherwise if you don't get them when you see them, you'll never get them really. Especially when it's these ones. I couldn't find these ones anywhere at all. So the first release of the Ferrari F40 Competizione, the red ones, I only actually ever found them once at the place where I got them, and the lady said to me from the shop, she said, "Oh yes, we're getting a shipment of 3,000 Hot Wheels, and they're coming in the next 2 weeks." So I kept on going in every couple of days and saying, "Oh, are they here yet? Are they here yet?" And she said, "Oh, I'll give you a call." And she never called me. And then I went in and I was a day late, and I missed the super treasure hunt. There was a super. Another guy got it. And there was only one super in 3,000 Hot Wheels. And he got it. It was the McLaren Speedtail. So I was a bit disappointed with that. But I got all the Ferrari first release I needed, the red ones. And I got all the other castings I needed. And I got the treasure hunt. I got a couple of treasure hunts too. So I was pretty happy anyway. But, you know, out of 3,000 Hot Wheels, there was only one super. And I missed out. But never mind. You can't win them all. But it's a bit like that, you know. You have to be quite... In order to get them, you need to do... It's either complete luck, or you can kind of like try and engineer your luck. But I think the lady was sick that day, so it wasn't her fault. She was actually sick. Because when I went in there, I said, "Oh, you said you were going to ring me." She said, "I'm sorry, I was sick." It's like, oh, never mind. And then, then we found out. I was like, "Oh, what happened to the super? Did you get the super?" No. Guy came in and went through everything and pulled the super. Oh, never mind. So, yeah. Very cool. So I like to open my Lamborghinis. I do have the super of the Trofeo, Super Trofeo, Lamborghini Huracan, which is a really nice Super because it's that really nice red Spectra flame. It's a really nice colour. So they actually had Mike Wadet's Lamborghini, Liberty Walk Lamborghini on display at the quite frequently at Lamborghini Auckland. And last week I went to Auckland City for a bit of a look, and I went into all the normal diecast shops and stuff and had a bit of a squiz, and couldn't find anything new. But I went to Ferrari, and the guy let me in Ferrari, and I saw the brand new Ferrari Testarossa, and he was very nice. He had a good chat with me, and I saw the Dici Cilindri in champagne color. He said it was Arctic silver or something. I can't remember the Italian. Something. I can't remember what the Italian is. I'm trying to learn a bit of Italian, but I can't remember what it was. But there's spectacular cars in real life. At the time, there's actually a bloke in there. He was with his children, little children, and he was sitting there speccing a brand new Ferrari. Lucky him. Right, so I'll open this one. Which one shall I open? Keep the best one on card. I'll check. It's always pays to check to see if there's any casting flaws, because funnily enough, you can get ones that have got imperfections on them, casting imperfections, and the okay, I think I'll open this one. No, I really like the styling for the brand new Ferrari Testarossa. It's an amazing car. I like the direction they're going. I'm not too sure on the electric one. The electric car Ferrari's released, it's got a lot of hate, and it's not my kind of cup of tea. I don't really like SUVs, and I don't really like electric vehicles, but there are some cars that they've done a good job on that have been electric. There's that Pininfarina Baptista, which is a 2000 horsepower electric Pininfarina styled car. It looks very Ferrari-esque. Very good looking car, but I'm not keen on the styling of some of the ones that look very SUV like. But it's the way of the future, I suppose, maybe. But anyway, so I'd rather have. I said to the bloke at Ferrari, I said, dream car is a 1980s Ferrari Testarossa, with the carburetor, with the carbies, flat 12, with a gated manual, and that's exactly the car that one of my customers actually imported from the UK into New Zealand when I ran my gardening business. I did gardening for him for 9 years, and he owned some very nice vehicles, including a Ferrari Testarossa that he imported from the UK. But and I was like, if I ever win lotto, I'll buy it from you. So, did I check? I don't know whether I checked. No, that's all right. I didn't check to see whether this one had any casting flaws or anything in it. So these ones go really good down the track. The Ferrari F40s don't particularly go very good down the track for some reason. Maybe because of this front spoiler. But this one seems to do very well on the track. So pretty cool. Great livery. And then this one. So I might as well open this one, seeing this as a double. Otherwise I could have given it to my niece because she collects, but I could still do that. I could see how well they go on the track, and then give it to her if I want to. Pretty cool. You find actually some of these are too wide for the track. But it would be a good test to see. Yeah, it's pretty wide casting. You find that some actually get stuck on the track, and some don't want to do the loop-to-loop. But it may do because it's got a front on there that's it goes up, so it might be quite good on the track still. Does it say it's no? It's exotic cars. Does it say anything about built for track? No. These ones were quite pricey, unfortunately, but they were probably higher end price for Hot Wheels. But like I said, I'd been looking everywhere, and there'd been a massive drought for Hot Wheels for such a long time for mainlines. So okay, well, thanks very much for watching. If you made it the whole way through, I appreciate it. And also any new subscribers, thanks for subscribing. I've subscribed to your channel if it's come up. I've a couple of people. Yeah, and stay tuned for more videos. I've got some of quite a lot of classic and vintage castings that I've been purchasing, so I've still got a big box load of that stuff to get through to do a video, so I'm planning on doing that one soon. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, thanks very much. Over and out.